Hello and welcome to Kidder Farms. We're back with another episode of UMRV, Upper Mississippi River Valley. And yeah, I've been sick for about 6 weeks now. We're still getting over it. I've got a bad case of sinus infection turned into bronchitis. And so we're going to see if I can get a video going here today. This has been quite a harrowing few weeks for me, so I do apologize if today's video comes out a little bit wonky, but we've got a lot of work to do on the farm here, and I wanted to jump back into things. We have recently harvested our alfalfa and clover here across the road, and because I am unable to update the map without having all my field states and stuff get reset, we are going to haul our seeder out here, our air drill, and we're going to put some grass in across the road in these two fields because the alfalfa and the clover isn't going to automatically grow back here in the version that I'm running on. It will grow back in the updated version of this map, but like I said, I can't really do that update without losing our field states, so that's something we're going to have to wait until the middle of the winter to figure out how to trigger the update here. That's all right, though. We're going to run this up to the yard. I think I've got a little bit more seed over here by the other barn, so we're going to run it over here and see if I can put at least one more pallet of seed in here. I don't think our, what do we got in here in tons, our 0 tons. We got 3% of the hopper here with grass seed. It's not going to cut it. We'll grab one more pallet here. Oh, we hit the wood. There we go. We're just going to load up a single pallet. I don't think we're going to need a whole lot. These fields aren't that big, but I am going to need to get spun around here. Oh, we got plenty of grass over here. I'm thinking I should probably actually paint down a driveway on the other side of this, I don't even know what to call that, the enclosure around the bin loading area there. We seem to drive through that area quite often, and it probably makes sense to just put in an official driveway, I think. We'll have to get to that one of these days. And I do really wish that this drill had fertilizer applicators on it. I'd love to be putting down a little bit of fertilizer while we're drilling in our crops. But unfortunately, we don't have anything like that on here. We'll have to bust out that UMRV dry box here at some point. I think we're going to start with the alfalfa field here first, since we're right here. This shouldn't take but a moment. Go ahead and fire this up. The other thing this is going to do for us is, whoa, we're all over the place with this articulated tractor. The other thing this is going to do for us is make it so I don't have to worry about cutting the edge of the field before we do the rest of it. We won't have any mixed crops. Now, I know the swapping headers have been updated on Edgewater, Saskatchewan to make that no longer an issue. I just don't know if that's going to apply to the mower heads or not. I haven't looked into that. I've got to dig into all that. I'm woefully behind on, all that mod updates and just general community news, having been out of things for the last several weeks. I'll have to spend some time over the next week and see if I can get myself caught up on all the going-ons in the farming simulator world here. I do like that this is a nice and speedy implement here. We're rocking it out at 12 miles an hour here. This is going to take no time at all. By the time we make it around this field twice, I think we're going to be pretty much done here. Now, I'm wondering if this drill is going to be good enough to cover up this little bit of crop that we left behind. I hope so. Ah, there we go. Perfect. I was worried that I was going to have to come back out here with a piece of tillage or something and clean up the little bits before we got into it, but I had nothing to fear, apparently. And I guess we'll just keep going with the path that we've started here. We've kind of chosen our way around this field. Not a big deal. I could probably bust out GPS here at some point to make it so I could just go straight up and down here, but that's all right. We'll freeform this one. It's such a small field. It's just one of those days. It doesn't even make sense to bother with the additional functionality here when you've only got to make a few passes. Besides, we're drilling in grass. If we overlap a little bit, it's not going to be the end of the world. Now, I'm intentionally cleaning up that little bit there, but I need to back up here and square up a little bit. I missed more than I intended when we were turning around there. There we go. Let's see if we can manage to align things up appropriately this time. Much better, much better. And I'm probably a gear too high. That looks better. I like to keep that RPMs in the right spot. And like I said, I always see this plane flying over our farm, and I can never quite catch sight of it. There it is. We're going to have to give him a name one of these days. What do you think we should name the pilot flying the plane? Let me know in the comments below. And if you haven't already, hit that like button. Helps me out a lot. We're going to come down here. I missed the tiniest little sliver on the point down here. It's going to drive me nuts, so I'm going to try and nab that here real quick. There we go. Oh, we're all over the ditch. This was a terrible idea. All right, we're all seated here. I'm going to fold this thing up, and we're going to go over and hit that clover field as well. And the reason I'm doing this is if we look at the production chain menu here, you can see that I've got, let's put this in the right units. I've got 8.6 tons of hay. Or here, this is a better look. So I've got 8.6 tons of hay and 80 tons of silage, but silage is so much heavier that it's not really a great comparison here. If you just look at the bars, though, I'm running out of hay faster than I'm running out of silage. And the reason for that is I'm using more hay in my silage mix or in my TMR mix than I am silage. I'm doing about a 65-35 spread. And the big reason for that is that we get more cuts of hay in a year than I do silage. And so the silage was about enough to last through the entire year. And I'm just worried that I don't have enough corn with all the new cows that we've brought into the herd. Even though they're young and they won't eat a lot, we're going to be feeding them primarily just hay to start off with. No sense in giving them the full TMR until we get them to a breeding age here. So we're going to be kind of mixing things up with the, I guess they'd be heifers or calves at this point. And we'll get them to a bigger size, closer to breeding age before we start wasting the more expensive, more work-intensive silage on them. Realistically, I guess I'd probably do kind of maybe a hay grain mix with the younger cows, if I'm not mistaken, and then we would, jump into the TMR as you get closer to breeding age. So that's kind of where my mind is at. That's why we moved them into their own barn, so that I could have a different feeding regimen for the younger cows. And we'll see how that goes. We'll see how it goes. Now, we are using a little bit more seed than I thought we would, but not a lot. I think we're still good. I'm not worried about running out. We do have quite a bit more seed in the shed if I need to go get some more. I always just hate having to run back up to the farm, but I think we're going to be fine. We're only at 17% capacity now, and I forget what we started out with, but I think it was maybe 28%. I can't even remember, but this is going to go pretty quick. Trying to make sure I overlap the edges here enough so that we don't miss any more little bits on the outside as we're going around. I'm going to swing wide here and go a full circle so I can get lined back up on this row. And I think I am going to actually grab a GPS track on the way back up just to make life easier. Something like this. Make sure the drill is down. And I can't even see the degrees on my clock down here. Trying to line up manually here is somewhat entertaining sometimes. And I'm off by a degree. It looks like, oh well, it is what it is. We'll be off by a degree for the whole field. It's all right. I always find it annoying to bring up the actual pop-up screen where I have to enter my degrees. I don't know why. I just prefer to do the AB line method. It's less intrusive. I don't have to stop the machine or do anything different. There we go. I have to say, though, I'm loving this 9620, the 20 series tractors in general. It's just an awesome looking machine. It's worked great for us on the farm here. I'm a fan of some of these slightly older but bigger machines. I think it's working out great on our farm, although I have to say I am looking forward to making some upgrades here soon. I think we've done well for ourselves. If I remember right, we actually just purchased more land at the end of last episode. Yeah, we bought this big field 7 here. Oh my goodness, we looked at the menu and almost went in the creek. But like I was saying, we bought that big field 7, which is soybeans. And so I'm looking forward to having that as a cash crop here. We've got our own soybean field that we'd already planted as well. And so having a couple of fields where we know we're going to get some crops that we can sell for money is going to be good for the farm come fall. Well, actually, I guess it'll be good for the farm come next summer, maybe? Let's take a look here. Yeah, June. So come June, we'll make some money selling off a bunch of soybeans. And that'll be a good point for us to really start upgrading some equipment on the farm, I think, because we're not going to have a whole lot of spare cash this year since we spent all of our money to buy more land. And we do have plans to get a new forage harvesting setup here on the farm for the fall season here with the corn. I sold off the old forage harvester, or I guess I should say I returned the lease I think that we had on that in the pull behind forage boxes. I had a lot of fun doing it that way for a couple of harvests and doing a lot of the grass and hay pickup work that way, but we're going to be swapping in some new equipment, which I've got to figure out exactly what I plan on using before these grass fields are ready to cut again, because right now we don't have a baler, a rake, or a forage harvester to pick up the hay. So once we cut it, we've got no way to get that back over here to our silos. And yeah, that's how we got the money to buy that field. So we're going to have to really think through what we're going to do in order to fund the lease for that equipment. I've got a couple of mods in the back of my mind that I want to use, but I haven't made a firm decision yet. I'm looking forward, though, to getting something a little bit bigger, a little bit more modern for our silage harvest. We'll probably be running semi-trailers with the forage harvesters, and that's going to let us hopefully get through these fields a lot faster and move that material around a lot quicker. So that's the plan, and that's going to be coming up here soon, but I'm not sure exactly when we're going to get into all that, but I think that's an August job. I think the corn is going to be ready for that in August, if not in September for sure. So I think I got all of the fields that we needed to put grass into seeded here. So we're going to run this right back here into our shed. And then I'm going to get out the fertilizer spreader, because we need to put some fertilizer down on those 2 grass fields. And then also I would like to see if we need to do anything with this new soybean field that we purchased. I don't think it needs any nitrogen, obviously, because it's soybeans, but we might need to spray for weeds, so I do need to check in on that. Now, I usually like to use this 9630 on that dry box spreader because it's quite a beefy device there, and it does have tracks on it, and so do I. So let's match this equipment up. I think it'll work great for us. And that's only going to take a couple minutes to put some fertilizer onto those fields, the grass fields here, with that big spreader. So this is going to be a real quick job. All right, so it looks like this has actually got lime in it, not dry fertilizer. So let me take a quick look at our map here. The pH levels actually look pretty good in that field, so I don't think I want to deal with swapping the lime out, and I'm realizing I don't even have any dry fertilizer in here, but we do have a number of pallets of liquid fertilizer. So I think what we're going to do is actually I completely forgot about the sprayer we've got over here in the other shed. I think we'll grab the sprayer and we'll just put some liquid N down today, just because it's going to be the easiest thing. We got the product already, so rather than spending money on more product, we can go ahead and just get this thing cleaned out and switched over. We do have a little bit of herbicide in it still, but this is going to be a lot quicker to switch this over and get some fertilizer going in those fields than if we were to go the other route and have to run up to town with something to pick up some dry fertilizer and bring back down here. And you know what? Before we swap all of that herbicide out, let's run over here and check out this field that we just bought and see what the weeds look like. Now, I'm not seeing a ton of weeds out here. In fact, this field looks surprisingly clean. Awesome. The pH value is kind of meh, but I can't do a lot about that right now. Yeah, they did a good job of spraying this field down, so we're going to go ahead and get this sprayer all swapped out. We're going to get the liquid nitrogen going here and jump back out to our grass fields. All right, I put a couple of containers in here. We've got way more fertilizer than I probably need, but like I was saying before, I really hate having to run back up to the farm, so I'd rather have too much and need to empty it back out at some point than not enough. So here we go. Let's get to it. We're going to start in the clover field this time, or the former clover field, I should say, and get that going. It is the slightly wider field, and this sprayer is way overkill for these tiny fields. I do love the folding animation on this and the hydraulic noises. Very well done, mod. We're going to have to get a wider view here for the full boom. That's all right. And this thing does have our precision farming boom control and everything on it, which I absolutely love. And so we can go where we want and not worry about over applying product. Now, it doesn't look like we need a ton of N here. I don't see the map updating down there is what I'm worried about, but it does seem to be applying appropriately based on the precision farming window up above. Application rate is 0. Oh, I don't need that much nitrogen for grass, apparently. Well, I'm going to keep going because it looks like there's a few low areas in a few spots here. I've seen the mini map down there change a little bit. I just sprayed a little bit in that corner there, so we're going to hit it, make sure that any of the low spots have some levels of nitrogen here. There's a red spot up ahead of me here that looks like we might need a little bit better to spend the time and hit it and be in a good spot than to have some missing bits here and there. I guess I didn't realize how little nitrogen the grass was going to need. For some reason, I felt like it needed a little bit more. I am going to run back up here. There's a little bit I didn't manage to cover with the boom right in the middle, I think. So I'm going to just do this spot right up in the top end a little bit more, make sure we didn't miss anything, and we'll be good to go here. All right, I think that'll about do it. We're going to do the same thing on the other field here and go from there. I want to look at my precision farming map. The nitrogen looks meh, but if I click on the field, how do I see the environmental score for just that field? I thought there was, whoa, let's stop. I thought there was a way I could see the field by field score, not my overall score. Whoops. This thing is like rolling down the hill here. I forget I have to fold this thing up when I'm on relatively level ground, or the arms go all cattywampus on me. All right, what's the top one in this thing? Nitrogen. So my nitrogen was poor, but after the next harvest, that should come back up, I think. We'll see. I don't know. I don't have very good scores on most of these fields right now for some reason. I don't know what's going on with all that. I thought we did a decent enough job of taking care of our fields this year, but I guess most of our fields, this will be the first time we're growing them from plant to harvest. So I would expect to see us, after this harvest season, have much better precision farming scores across all of our fields. Yeah, that hydraulic on this thing is just struggling a little bit. Both of the arms are a little bit off right now. We've really got to figure out the leak that we've got on the hydraulics here or something, because this is becoming a problem driving around with the arms hanging out here. I've loved everything else about this particular sprayer, but the hydraulics on the arms not working quite right. That's becoming a little bit of a problem for us here. Now I'm gonna back all the way up here, and we're gonna start in this little narrow spot. And oh, that's right, these things follow the ground height. That's another cool feature. I'm going to turn the sprayer on here, and we're gonna rely on precision farming to not spray in our lake here on us. And we're gonna take this right down the left side of the field here. We do actually need more nitrogen in this field than we did in the others, so this is more beneficial over here than it was in the Clover field. You can see we're actually putting down nitrogen in most of this field, indicated by the fact that it's actually turning colors here underneath, and the mini map is getting updated. So this was worth our time, although we way overfilled the fertilizer in the tank. We didn't need nearly as much as we brought out here with us, but that's all right. I'd rather have too much than too little. And just like that, I think we're all done. I'm just gonna spray over that little spot right there. It looked like it was missing a bit. And let's see if this will fold up a little bit nicer for us here. I'm not quite on level ground, but I'm hoping it's level enough. Yeah, that's completely not good at all. Okay, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna try and get this thing back into the yard, because I know if I can park in the flat area, you know, on the yard there, that's pretty level. I guess this road should be pretty level. I don't know if I have enough room to unfold the booms here, though. Maybe if I bring it up here in between the fence area on the driveway, because as soon as I unfold, I think it lowers it down to the ground, which is problematic with this fence here. I really should have just pulled into the yard before trying this. Okay, there we go. I just saw it like kind of snap into place. I think it reset itself. So let's see if it can fold up now. There we go. We did it, folks. All right, I'm going to put this thing right back into the shed here. We're all done with all this miscellaneous other stuff. We've got the spraying in. We got the grass seeded. I think it's all good to go. What I'd really like to do is, well, we should probably check and make sure I fed the cows. I did feed the cows off camera a bit before the episode started. I was setting some things up and waiting for the time to pass, and I just ran a few loads of feed in while I was here. So let's go check on these animals here. I've got in barn A, looks like we got 105,000 liters. That's pretty good. That'll get us through probably like 4 days, if I remember right. We've got probably 5 days of feed over here. And these are the new calves that we just had. And you can see here that they've got quite a bit of hay in there. I think we started out with like 130, maybe 140,000. So they're not eating a lot, which is good. It means that we'll be good to go for a while here on just this hay. I was really hoping this hay would hold them through for a while at their smaller size. As they start to get older, they will start to eat more and more feed. So I have to keep an eye on this and not forget about them. But for now, we're going to just keep moving forward. I think we're going to move the clock forward here into August and see what happens. We've got nothing left to do here in the month of July. The next jobs that we've got coming up here are to cut this grass, but it's got one more stage to go. And then we also need to do the silage harvest over here. But again, we've got one more stage to go before that's going to be ready to cut. So let me move this forward, and I'll catch you in a couple of days here in August. All right, we've moved forward here to the 1st of August, and as you can see, we've sold milk for a couple of days here, and we're making money. I'm digging that the milk sell is covering our daily prices on our lease and all that good stuff. We tend to be somewhere around 10K a day on the lease costs, and then we make 20K a day in milk. I was just out here checking our grass field. It did grow up to the second stage here. We're ready to mow this at some point and test out whether or not our improvements have made it ready for course play to handle that field a lot better. We may end up picking up a baler again, maybe a square baler. What I'm curious of is, can I just drop bales right into this and it'll chew it up and toss them into the storage? Because, while it's not necessarily realistic, I do really enjoy having this thing output all of our hay and silage for the TMR mix. And so that's one of those situations where I'm willing to bend realism just a little bit in order to have a much easier gameplay experience. And I'm just going to run down the road here. I want to take a look at the cornfield here and see how our corn's looking. It's looking nice and tall here. Let's check the menu though real quick. I would expect this to update to a dark green. It's not quite there yet. We've got a little bit more to go, so not going to be chopping this corn just yet. We got to wait a little bit, but you can see here our other grass field is starting to come in, so that's already popping up. So is the other side of the road. We'll have I think 2 months. I think next month this will be ready to harvest, but in that lower stage, and then the month after that it'll be ready to harvest in the full state. So that'll be October. We'll be able to get one more cutting off of this grass, which will work out awesome. And so really, it looks like our only job is this one grass field to cut out with the mower, get that hay out on the field and drying. Man, this shed looks so empty without all of that Vermeer baling equipment. But I don't know, I was finding it a bit frustrating to use, and so it had to go. We're going to replace it with something else here. I don't know what just yet, but we're definitely going to be replacing it. And over here, we're going to go ahead and see if we can get this courseplay thing going. We did all of this work so that we could use courseplay to do the job. Now let's see how it works. I'm going to set my field position right here. We're going to open a course generator, and you know what? We're going to take 4 headlands off now because we can. And let's see. I want to do up-down rows. Let's up-down direction is set to manual. No, I would like that to be automatic. There we go. Look at that. It's such an easy course now. It looks clean. It's probably going to work awesome. And we'll start at the first waypoint here. And away we go. All right, folks. Well, I'm super excited that we've got this working now. And we're going to have to figure out what we're going to pick up this hay with. Let me know in the comments what you think we should do. I was thinking about a nice square baler, something that can pick up some big bales. And then we could get a auto load trailer or something maybe, and just to run those over to the harvest store to store them. We've also got this bale enclosure over here. We could store bales over here if we wanted to. I might have to swap this out. I think this is a round bale building. If I did want to switch to square bales, just because it's going to be easier, especially for the automation, I think it's going to be quicker. I would have to sell this building and replace it with the square bale version. Let's just look at that real quick. Is it a silo? I don't think it's a silo. It'd be a shed. Steel object. Oh, yeah, so it's got round or square. Oh, so I don't have to replace it. I bet you I can push R to open the menu, and then I can configure this. Yeah, here we are. So then I could store big square bales and confirm. Yep. Nice. All right, so now I can put square bales in here if I wanted to. Okay, I like this mod. This mod works great. So we're going to be... I'm leaning towards a square baler. Let me know what you guys think in the description. I know we were using the forage harvester. We're going to be doing a lot of chopping on our corn. So I thought, let's get a different piece of equipment, mix it up a little bit. And that little round baler from the Vermeer pack just wasn't cutting it for me. So we're going to try out some kind of a square baler. I'm really feeling the square baler. But let me know in the comments what you think I should get. And I'll take that into consideration. I'm not quite going to be back to a daily schedule here for a little bit yet. Still fighting off the bronchitis. Doctor really told me I shouldn't be doing a lot of talking or doing a whole lot of anything for the rest of this week, but I was just itching to get back into Farm Sim here and crank out another video. I've been missing the game, been missing the community, so you guys hopefully don't mind my voice. I can hear it's croaking a little bit, but we'll get through it. We're going to get back on schedule and see where it goes. I'm not sure. This might be a little bit of a shorter episode. I honestly wasn't keeping track of time, but I think we're going to wrap things up here. I'm going to let this worker run on this field a bit and get all this hay chopped up, and then next episode we'll figure out how we're going to pick all this hay up and take a look at the rest of our equipment. This trailer is probably going to get to go then if we're not doing round bales. And yeah, we got to pick out that forage harvester and figure out which chopper I'm going to end up using. I've got some ideas. I just haven't cemented that in stone yet. So we'll get all of that figured out next episode. That's all for today. Kedurk out.